I only gave myself like 30 minutes to film this video and I don't exactly know what I'm going to say yet, so this should be pretty interesting. Hey everyone! So today I am going to be talking to you all about singleness, and as someone who's currently 20 years old, has never been in a relationship, and has never even kissed a boy before, I feel like I know a little something about being single, maybe just a little bit. So I thought it'd be super fun to talk about singleness, especially because the day that I am uploading this video is Valentine's Day. So if you're watching this on the day that I upload, happy Valentine's Day. If you have someone to celebrate with, that's super cool, have so much fun. And if you don't, honestly, just grab a buddy, grab some good Valentine's Day chocolates and watch a movie, just have fun, because being single can also be super great as well. Before I dive any deeper into this conversation, I just want to say that even though I am talking about singleness right now, I definitely do not have everything figured out, and I think it would be so much fun and kind of nice to be in a relationship. And if I'm being real with you all, if somebody were to ask me out like today or tomorrow, I would probably say yes. But I just want to encourage you all, and encourage myself even, that there are so many perks to being single as well. And it's just another one of those stages of life that you should enjoy being in, because there are so many perks to being single as well as perks to being in a relationship. First of all, something that I think is so amazing and also a little bit crazy kind of is that when you're dating, and if you're dating for marriage, like when you start dating, you could be with that person for the rest of your life. God forbid something happened, but you start dating someone and you end up really liking them and you find out that they're the person for you, and then you get married, and that is like the rest of your life. Whether you find the one when you're in your early 20s, your late 20s, your 30s, whatever stage of life you're in, I just think that's so crazy that like once you find that one person, that's who you're going to be with for the rest of your life. Although it can tend to seem like society places such a great emphasis on dating and relationships and your love life and everything, I think there should be such a great emphasis on singleness as well, because it's one of those special and unique seasons that you don't necessarily expect to go back to once you start dating and moving forward in your relationships. I apologize that this is about to sound super cliche, but I know part of the reason why some people don't start dating until later is because they haven't found the right person yet. And I am by no means trying to say that you need to find the right person on the first go around, but I do think that there are times when you can tell when someone is the right person or not. Sometimes you might have to go on a couple of dates with them first. Sometimes you can tell right away just by hanging out with them or being friends with them, and neither of those things are a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. It's just kind of part of the whole dating process, I guess. I also want to stress that if you're in high school, or if you're in college or after college and everyone around you is dating, or even if your friend has gotten engaged and found the right person, if you yourself are single and not dating anybody, there's no reason you should feel bad about that. Again, everyone's relationships form at different times in their life, and there is no one person in any stage of their life that's better than another person in a different stage of their life. In other words, if you know someone who's 23 years old, just graduated from college, and is about to get married, and you don't find the right person for you until, say, you're 34, just because this other person got married before you did does not mean that they're better in relationships in any way, or just better in general in any way. That just means that they have a different story than you do, and everyone has a different story when it comes to romantic relationships, friendships, family, work, you name it. Every single person has a different story, and I honestly think that that's such a beautiful thing, because you wouldn't want to have the same life story as another person. You wouldn't want to have your life line up with their life exactly, because then you wouldn't have anything new to bring to the table and you wouldn't have any new stories to share. And I think as people, we love storytelling and we love hearing stories. So if everyone just lived the same life, then there would be no point in stories. And I think that if you really took the time to think about that idea, That just sounds really sad. So different people are ready for relationships at different points in their life. And if you're single right now, I'm not trying to say this in an obnoxious way in the least bit, but if you're single right now, it's because you're supposed to be single right now, and your singleness could honestly end tomorrow or the next day or the day after that, or it could continue on for a couple more weeks or months. But nevertheless, there are some things about being single that I think are super underestimated. The first thing being is that when you do start dating someone, you'll realize that you don't have as much time as you used to have. I mean, just take a closer look at one of your friendships, for example. If you're best friends with someone, chances are that you want to hang out with that person as much as you can. And the same thing applies to when you're dating someone. So if you're thinking about how much time you currently spend with your best friend, and then you're starting to think about spending the same amount of time with another person, that time adds up, and that's not a bad thing when you're dating someone, but it is a perk to being single, is that you do have a little bit more time on your hands. That being said, you can then take that time that you have and invest it back into growing your friendships and growing stronger with your friends, because sometimes when you do start dating someone, and this happens to the best of us, it's not a bad thing again, but it does happen, is that you might start spending so much time with this new person that you're not spending as much time with your friends. So I think it's super important that you just establish really good friendships so that once the right person does come along, you can kind of balance your relationships better and you already have really strong relationships. I don't even know if that really makes any sense, and I'm sorry if that's annoying to hear me say that because I haven't been in a relationship before, but I think that's just kind of how I see things going on in my head, so I just thought I would include that in this video. The main thing that I wanted to get at in this video is that everything that you do should be in God's timing, and you shouldn't have to rely on your own timing. You shouldn't have to even stress out about it, because God's plan is so much greater than any plan that you could have for yourself in your own life. And I know that it's really hard to see that on the side of heaven, because we're creatures who just kind of like to have things planned out and kind of like to have an idea of how our lives are going to go. But in reality, it just doesn't work that way, and you have to be super patient, because good things will come, but you just have to be patient for them. If right now you're single, then just enjoy being single, continue working on your friendships, work on your relationship with the Lord, and work on your relationship with yourself. Because the last thing that you'd really want to do is go into a relationship with someone if you don't really have a firm sense of self, and if you haven't really developed your own values and kind of a standard for how you think you should be treated in a relationship. I would definitely say just continue working on all of these relationships. Take advantage of all of the time that you have now that you probably won't really have once you start dating someone. And I would even encourage you to get to know the Lord better, or even just to get to know Him if you currently don't. And for those of you who are in a relationship, then again, just continue chasing after the Lord, or if you don't know the Lord, then I would just encourage you to consider it, and then at the same time, keep pursuing that relationship with the other person. Alright, so that's all that I have for this video. I apologize if it was just me rambling on for about 10 minutes, and I hope that some of that made sense. I hope some of it helped you all, and I would just encourage any of you who are single to just not take it for granted and to find the good in being single and just be patient. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye guys!